Hey there, basketball fans. Today, we're diving deep into the world of NBA players who rolled the dice and missed out on the biggest paydays of their careers. Grab your popcorn, folks, because this is going to be a wild ride. But before we dive into our list, you know the drill. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss a thing. Number 5, Dennis Schroeder. Coming in at number 5, we've got the man himself, Dennis Fumble the Bag Schroeder. It's the middle of the 2020-2021 season, and Dennis is on fire, dropping dimes left and right to complement LeBron James and Anthony Davis. He averaged 15.4 points and 5.8 assists in 61 games. The Lakers were so impressed that they offered him a 4-year, $84 million contract extension right there in the middle of the season. But wait, there's a twist. Dennis claimed the contract was never on the table, but ESPN reported otherwise. He allegedly wanted a deal worth more than $100 million. Talk about aiming high. Maybe a little too high. Fast forward to the playoffs and, well, let's just say Dennis had a couple of games that made you question that decision. In the end, he signed a 1-year, $5.9 million deal with the Celtics, only to find himself back on the Lakers the next season. Dennis, you definitely played a risky game of let's make a deal, and it didn't quite work out as planned. Number 4, Montrezl Harrell. Let's talk about Montrezl Harrell, who lands at number 4 on our list. Montrez was riding high. He just had the best season of his career, won the 6th Man of the Year award, was entering his prime at 26 years old, and was sitting pretty on the brink of free agency in 2020. He could have inked a deal worth more than $15 million a season. But what did he do? He chose the Lakers instead and signed a 2-year, $18.98 million contract. Why, you ask? Well, he did the noble thing and chose less money so he could compete for a title. Montrez was basically the knight in shining armor for the Lakers. But here's the kicker. The Charlotte Hornets offered him a 4-year, $80 million contract. Ouch! So Montrez ended up back on the team that had once offered him big bucks but played for a much cheaper deal. Sometimes loyalty comes at a cost, my friends. Number 3, Latrell Sprewell. Let's dig deeper into the intriguing tale of Latrell Sprewell, a player who certainly left his mark in the NBA, albeit for some unconventional reasons. At number 3, we've got a true blast from the past in Latrell Sprewell. Now, folks, we might never know exactly what Sprewell was feeding his family, but it was enough for him to use it as a reason to make one of the most baffling decisions in NBA history. Here's the scoop. In 2004, Latrell had 1 more year left on his contract with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the team offered him a 3-year extension worth a cool $21 million. That is a hefty paycheck by anyone's standards, right? But Latrell, well, he had different plans. He decided to let his game do all the talking on the court and turn down the lucrative extension. Feeling insulted, he famously declined the offer by saying, "I have a family to feed." He bet on himself, aiming to secure an even fatter payday down the road. However, fast forward to the next season, and things took an unexpected turn. Sprewell's game, which had once been a force to be reckoned with, had taken a nosedive. It was like watching a Hollywood star's career go from blockbusters to straight-to-DVD films. As if that wasn't enough, Latrell turned down offers from multiple teams, including the mid-level exception and veteran minimum deals. His agent made it clear that Sprewell was not interested in any deal that included a team's $5 million mid-level exception, and described that type of offer as a level beneath which Sprewell would not stoop or kneel. It's almost as if he thought he could turn back time and recapture his prime form. Unfortunately, the NBA is a league where time waits for no one. The sad truth is that the last time Sprewell graced the NBA court, his once bright career, filled with crossovers and epic moments, faded into oblivion. And to make matters worse, he filed for bankruptcy a few years later. His house was foreclosed on, he was forced to sell his $1.3 million yacht, and was even sued for $200 million. Today, Sprewell is worth $150,000 according to Celebrity Net Worth. Number 2, Nerlens Noel. Now, folks, hold on to your hats because we're about to dive into the story of a guy who didn't just roll the dice. He pulled out the Monopoly board and pressed charges on his agent. Yes, you heard me right. At number 2, we've got the man of the hour, Nerlens Legal Eagle Noel, who decided that the courtroom was the place to secure that elusive bag. The Sixers, back in 2017, had as much interest in giving him an extension as a cat does in a bubble bath. So what did they do? They packed him up and sent him to the Mavericks. Noel, with all the enthusiasm of a kid in a candy store, averaged 8.5 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 1.1 blocks in 22 games. But wait, here's the twist that would make a soap opera jealous. Mark Cuban was somehow impressed by Noel's performance and offered him a 4-year, $70 million extension. But hold on to your funny money because here's where it gets wackier than a clown car at a circus. Nerlens' agent, the ultimate hype man, convinced him that he was worth even more, like the Hope Diamond of basketball players. So, what did our hero do? He played the next season on a qualifying offer, making just a measly $4 million. It's like turning down a gourmet meal for a pack of instant noodles. And if that wasn't enough, he later signed a 2-year minimum deal with the Thunder. I mean, we're talking chump change compared to the astronomical riches he could have had back in 2017. So, ladies and gentlemen, the moral of the story is, sometimes you gotta be careful who you let handle your bag. And Nerlens Noel? Well, he gave us one heck of a courtroom drama that left us all scratching our heads. Number 1, James Harden. Ladies and gentlemen, gather round because we've reached the pinnacle of our list, the crown jewel of financial fiascos. Our number 1 spot belongs to none other than the man with the most famous beard since Santa Claus, James the Beard Harden. Now, let's put things in perspective. Harden has made over $300 million in salaries alone. That's more money than you could stuff into a mattress, and trust me, he could afford quite a few mattresses with that kind of cash. But what makes Harden stand out from the rest of the NBA's elite? It's not just about how much he's made. It's about how much he's given up in his quest for that elusive championship ring. In 2020, Harden had the golden opportunity to sign a 2-year, $103 million extension with the Houston Rockets. That deal would have made him the first player in history to cash in a cool $50 million in a single season. But oh no, folks, Harden wasn't content with being the richest man in basketball. Instead, he pulled off a move that shook the NBA world to its core. He requested a trade to the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets, in an attempt to keep their prized possession, offered Harden a jaw-dropping 3-year, $161 million extension in 2021. You'd think he'd jump at the chance, right? Well, not quite. Harden turned down that astronomical offer, all in the hopes of securing an even more astronomical 4-year, $223 million extension in the offseason. I mean, talk about rolling the dice when you're already sitting at the high-stakes table. Imagine being the first player in NBA history to rake in over $60 million in a single season. Harden could have had it all. More money than he could spend in a lifetime. But no, since he requested a trade mid-season, the money he could have made changed, and our man Harden is still on the hunt for that elusive championship ring, chasing it like it's the last piece of candy at the end of the rainbow. And that's the story of James Harden, the man who turned down mountains of money for the chance to become an NBA legend. Will he ever strike gold on the court? Only time will tell. So there you have it, folks, the wild world of NBA players who bet on themselves and missed out on mega paydays. From Dennis Schroeder to James Harden, they each took a gamble and the results were nothing short of jaw-dropping. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and let us know in the comments which player's decision surprised you the most. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time on Crash the Boards. Keep ballin'!